Hi, my name is Grant Hobson. I work as a finance analyst. Today I'm going to talk you through some business maths calculations and ratios. How to calculate volatility. Volatility is used to assess how much variance there is in a data point or a piece of data around a mean. So in terms like investment, we use that to determine how sort of risk elements there is in an investment. So if we've got a highly volatile, say, stock, which is really vastly dispersed over a period of time around its mean, it shows that it could fluctuate rapidly, so we might get high gains, but alternatively we could have high losses. Whereas if it's a low level volatility, that means it stays fairly stable, so we can be pretty sure of what type of return we're going to get, and there's a smaller risk involved in that. In terms of the manual calculation for volatility, we'll run through this now in an example. So for the calculation, there's 3 steps that we should follow. So firstly, we need to calculate the mean being the average of the data set. We then want to calculate the variance to this mean, and we're going to take the square of this variance from the mean. And then we're going to, at the end, for step 3, is to take the square root of the total variances, dividing by the number of months. So for the example, we're going to use the price of petrol to fill up a car over a period of 6 months. So in this example, we'll start off in month 1 at £50, at month 2 at £48, month 3, £47, month 4, £49, month 5, £53, and month 6 is £57. So basically what we're trying to show here is the fluctuations in the price that it costs us to fill up. And you might want to, sort of, in a general investment place, you see the risk of this type of investment. From a personal perspective, if it was the price to fill up a car, you might be thinking, well, the price is quite volatile, getting more expensive. If it's at a low price, just buy a bit of fueling to reduce the impact of further price increases. So step 1 was calculating the mean. So basically, to calculate the mean, you need to take the sum of these 6 pieces of data and divide them by the total number of data. So we've got 6 pieces of data, so it's the sum of this and divided by the 6 pieces of data gives you your mean. So that's going to be consistent for each cell. We then want to calculate the variance to the mean. This is quite simple, taking one away from the other. So we do the price less the mean. Just follow that down. And then we want to square this. So we square 0.67, so we simply do that to the power of 2. It was 0.44, and again we just copy that down for the rest of the data sets. So we then need to complete the final step of the data. Which is basically we're summing it all up, and again we then divide it by the number of months, which is 11.56, so it equals the sum of your squared variances divided by the number of data sets, so 6, it's 11.56. Then the final bit in the calculation was to take the square root of these variances. So you can insert the square root formula, and that gives you a square root of 3.4. Alternatively, you might not have be on Excel and you can get the square root function on your scientific calculator to calculate that. We say that the volatility of that set of data is 3.4. So just as a quick example, I'm just going to change some of the prices here just to show if they are more volatile, how that gets reflected. So we're going to start from the same base, but then we're going to say that we actually had a bigger decline, an even bigger decline, and then because there was a problem with whether it was the supply, for example, of oil, or some sort of conflict. It was an instant big hike in the price, so we went up to 53, up to 58, and then it started getting really expensive at £65. So you can see that we've had a big movement there from 3.4% to 8.19%, so now there's a lot more volatility within this bit of data. You normally use this more, it's sort of referred to as your beta, in terms of investment calculations and analysing particular stocks, but for this example it's just a way to demonstrate the calculation.